For a moment, they had let us dream. But we all knew who our real suitors were. Occasionally, you could wind up with someone young. But girls like us, from the best houses, were matched with the most powerful commanders.
May I have this dance?
When I think back on The Handmaid's Tale, not ever having read the series, and really going into it completely blind as to what this story was about, I remember being so shocked during the series opener, so repulsed, so astonished to the numbness and disassociation that was on everyone's face as June, Serena, and Commander Waterford performed this ceremony on screen for the first time. And yes, The Handmaid's Tale and all of its atrocities were horrifically bad. And now that we are in the Testaments, halfway through the first season, though the show is much more tame in its visual storytelling, the Testaments is proving to be a much, much harder show to watch. Why? Because we are not following around adult women anymore. This story is being told through the lens of a child who's given a false sense of controlled privilege, a child who is growing up and realizing that she's living in a beautiful and perfectly curated cage surrounded by predators. I'll admit I was taken aback by the picturesque backdrop of this show. For someone who loves art, this show visually pulls you in. A very, very stark contrast to the gray and overcast Gilead that we saw in The Handmaid's Tale. Here we have this big, lavish house, perfectly manicured, vast lawns and landscapes, smiling and cheerful Marthas, tailored clothes. Everything about this setting is so opulent. Even the brightness of the show in the first few episodes and its use of color to convey moods. Agnes's room and home is overall very light, uses a lot of pastels, a palette often associated with soft, calm, and serene atmospheres. The school and the colors in which the girls are dressed is also very regal as well. The gold accents, the plum and purple uniform, a color that's historically associated with royalty and nobility. Everything has a meaning, down to the aunts in that military color, reinforcing their roles as the enforcers. And I didn't mean for this to be a color theory video, but in episode 5, this is the obvious turning point in the season, as not only are we at the halfway point, but this entire episode is so dark, like literally. Look at how it's shot compared to the others, and figuratively dark as well. All of the girls who are now eligible to be married off by no other marker in life than that they've started menstruating are given a prom of sorts, a ball, in which they interact with guys other than their fathers for the first time, all with the goal of being matched with a husband by the end of the night. And the build up to this is sickening. First, these girls, 13, 14-year-old girls, are paired with the quote-unquote younger men. And I don't know how old the men are whom these girls are first scheduled to dance with, but they look to be between 20, maybe 35 at the oldest. A lot of these guys are odd, nervous, and although it's still creepy, it feels palatable because first, they are acting like gentlemen, genuinely asking questions, trying to make these girls feel comfortable in this uncomfortable situation. And second, they don't look like these girls' great-grandfathers. So everyone's having a good time.
All right, dance is over. Everybody go home.
Then the geezers come out, the sick, old, fart, nasty geezers, the white-haired, gray-haired, fat-fingered, balding geezers. Ooh. And it's all getting very Epstein-esque. And I have a real question if anyone knows this already, but why don't these older commanders already have wives? I really want to know why they are the ones getting paired off with teenagers and why they don't already have wives their own age, or who are at least a little bit closer to their age.
We first married with the pills, needle shot into his thing. You wanted a baby. Of course. He would bring in other men, guardians, eyes, even some commanders for their turn to fuck me.
So this was all done intentionally, as one elder commander watching from above states, "I think these young guns have whet their appetite. Now let's show them where they will eat." Translation, we've teased them enough. Now let's show them who they will really be in bed with. What would have made this much worse is if Agnes was completely oblivious, but it's clear that she knows her reality too, stating, "For a moment, they let us dream, but we all knew who our real suitors were. Them." So to wrap up what happens at this ball, gargoyle number 1 gets Rebecca drunk. Another gargoyle comes on to Daisy. Agnes sees her personal gargoyle, the dentist, and gets shell-shocked, and the girls all get questioned via Zoom in front of several gargoyles on how they will perform their wifely duties for them. The dimness in which this episode was shot really emphasizes the gloom that is being introduced into these young girls' lives here. And let's pivot for a moment to Daisy. We can appreciate the care and comfort that she's showing towards these girls, especially Rebecca in this episode, who has a very vulnerable moment with Daisy after being liquored up by a 70-year-old man. And some people didn't like what I had to say about Daisy in my first video on this series, but my question still stands. Is Daisy ready for this? Because that Toronto in her is just coming out a little bit too often.
Shit. Carol! Get your shit together, Carol!
And I really do feel bad saying this about a 14, 15-year-old girl. I guess my critique on this storyline is that Daisy probably should have been childlike and not an actual child, if that makes sense. Find a woman who looks young enough to be there instead of putting this actual kid's life in danger, who is obviously scared, a little reactionary and impulsive, and scrambling to get out. But it's still early, and I'm sure she's meant to grow into this badass superhero heroine, and we'll see this unfold soon enough. My one and only question after watching this is, when will the revolting begin? I was a little let down by the matches not being shown at the end of episode 5, and this is pure speculation, but I'm hoping that Agnes matches with someone that she actually fancies. Her father seems to have genuine care for her, and I'm hoping that he pulled that white-haired commander away from her at the dance intentionally, because he's trying to orchestrate her marrying someone she'll actually like being with. And I know that Aunt Lydia is really in charge of the matches here, but she also seems to have a fondness towards Agnes as well, and I'm sure that she also knows that that's June's daughter, right? So might this be an elaborate plan to connect Agnes to the right people to get her out? I guess we'll see soon. If you've enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Signing off now, your friend, Dom.